Fatima really wants to be a mother.
Yes.
Can you give her any information about this? Can you help give her any guidance
She wants
surrounding
to
this?
teach people how to love.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know it, but she's a teacher of love. That's why she feels cold. It's about nurturing. It's about having a house full of joy and laughter.
So are there any souls that are wanting to incarnate on this planet with Fatima as their mother? Are there souls around?
Oh, there are many,
Mm.
many souls. Babies feel connected to her. She walks and, just babies stare at her because they recognize her.
Mm. So you said that Fatima was here to teach people how to love.
Yes.
Is that her mission in this lifetime?
Yes, when we say how to love,
Mm-hmm.
it's a form of being, a way you address life. For example, laughter is another form of love. Joy, dancing, just sharing joy through words. For example, she's a writer, she's an artist, and that is an extension of her essence.
Mm.
So to teach about love is not to give a class about relationships, but it's a form of being in life and expressing through art to teach people how to live more purely, more innocent, with freshness, connected to their hearts, to themselves, connected to God, seen as one. I know she wants to write about this, about being one in the divine.
Mm.
She somehow started, but she will go further. She will spread this message through different forms of art. So instead of being a flow or a liability, the coming from this planet where everybody is a child, she will teach other people about that.
Mm. So she also wants to know how she can unclip her wings and move towards her higher destiny.
First, she has to embrace that being different is okay, is a virtue in this world. It is a virtue to be different, to be misunderstood most of the times. It is positive to be different. So when she embraces that fully, things will change. It's not about fighting with humans. It's about fully embracing her true self, her true nature, embracing her true mission. She has received from several sources the confirmation that she's not from this planet. It's time that she believes it. It's time that she embraces it. It's time to awaken to a divine destiny. Because she will continue to be misunderstood in this planet and probably having confrontations, but when you see that, don't see them as confrontations, but when you see those differences as part of the teaching of the mission of love. It's like when Joshua, of course people did not agree with him because he was not at the same level of ascension. So confrontation is a part of those interactions, but it's not the focus of the teaching. It's the focus is we are all part of source. We all are divine. So when people don't know it, they will fight for silly things. And she feels very sad for those confrontations and she suffers a lot. But she needs to not to focus on the confrontation, not to focus on the fighting or the differences, but to embrace her mission of love and feel compassion for those who still don't understand. Feel compassion for their values of fighting or being competitive or feeling hate towards each other. That's how humans interact.
I had the sense that Fatima is a very, very powerful being, but she just hasn't fully discovered that yet or embodied that yet. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. She didn't come here to be a disciple or a follower of someone, but to build her own temple of light and a sacred journey towards God.
Yes.
With herself to awaken the goddess in her and probably with other women and other men.
So how can she fully embody the energy of the divine feminine?
We already had some sneak peeks with
We did.
the images before. I think that she needs to go back again and again to that image of the waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
because that image was so, like, she has never been like that before. Always taking care of everybody, as the Mexican cultures um, educate, being, at the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
But in that waterfall, she was powerful, she was free, she was embodying the true Christ, feminine Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs to go back to that image over and over.
So, I mean, Fatima has this kind of, she feels like she wants to move to the United States.
Yes,
Um, how can she achieve this? And can you give her any guidance about that?
it's
Was that,
been a
sorry.
dream for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that she has felt like for a long, long time. It's time to make this dream true.
Mm.
She can come back to Mexico eventually. She will, but it's a calling in the heart.
So, is there anything that you can, any advice you can give her about how she can achieve this, how she can make the steps to move there?
I think that her problem is to see the rules of the physical world, the all of the rules of visas and residency and money,
Mm.
and as obstacles for her dream. But since these rules don't apply for the spiritual plane, she needs to come back to the spiritual essence of who she truly is. Because when you are in tune with that, all the doors will
Mm.
open.
Yes.
All the doors will open.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, Fatima would also love to reach a lot of people with her art, her poetry, and acting and writing, and but she's felt insecure. Can this be unblocked so she can reach her highest creative potential and have an impact with her art?
Yes, her problem is confidence.
Yes.
And this confidence comes from the same um, root problem, which is being in conflict of who she truly is and living in the human physical rules of the world. You don't need to be approved by little people.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the focus of any art or any science business that can have like a great impact. You need to be approved by yourself, connected to your true essence, connected to God, and honestly give a fuck about others' opinions.
Mm.
When you are so yourself, herself, unapologetically, of course with discipline, of course with talent, but that's when she will impact more people when she gets her own approval, her own acceptance, like embrace herself fully, her essence. She's even going to walk differently. It's a spiritual work. She knows her art is a spiritual work. Um, it's a channel
Yes.
for spiritual messages. She knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pure intention in her art. That is pure because she, even when she writes, she prays. Keep the focus on connecting the art to source, connecting the poems to source, connecting the dancing to source, connecting a character to source.
I feel, I just want to ask here, I feel that the planet that Fatima is from is of a very high dimension. Could you tell us which dimension she is from?
Yes, it's fifth dimension.
Okay, wonderful. Does her planet have a name that we could use in our human language?
I don't know. I just thought of this. There's a word in Spanish for the baby angels.
Mm-hmm.
The word in Spanish is querubín or querubines, and they are the baby angels that surround God. It feels like that word.
This reminds me of almost like cherubs, like cherub.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that is the word.
yeah. Wonderful, thank you. Interesting. Um, so,
I feel the need to say this, but there's a connection with timelines.
mhm,
Humans see the time as, you know, a beginning, a climax, and an end.
mhm,
So they give a lot of importance to their backstories, to the problems that they had in the past. They carry the past. So the past is something that pulls them backwards because they have never done something. So when I say she needs to connect to possibilities, it's also breaking the linear way of time. In the spiritual realm, time is different. It's just possibility. When you think that you can be a great entrepreneur, a businesswoman, or a great artist, or live somewhere else, you are creating possibilities. That is also fulfilling your spiritual destiny when you create something different from your human past.
wonderful, thank you. So yes, her final two questions may have been covered, but I just want to go over them just to make sure that we've thoroughly been through everything. So she's had many sad experiences and crazy busy days, and she tends to feel cut off from her connection to source. How can she always feel a direct connection with source? How can she always maintain that connection?
I suggest that she remembers this session. This session is going to be like a rebirth. It's going to separate past from future.
Yes.
This session is going to be very important to recall her true essence. It's important that she grounds herself several times a day to remember who she really is, her true mission here, and see other people with compassion, not with pity or with sadness or being upset for being misunderstood all the time. But when you remember that you are not from this plane and you are here to teach people how to love each other and how to reconnect with their joy and laughter and how to reconnect with the beauty of life. And it's like a plug in. When you plug in something, like you have the battery, the electricity, the passion again. So she needs to plug in, if necessary, several times a day through meditation, through recalling this session, through nature, through music, through dancing, but just plug in again and again and again, as many times as necessary during the day.
Wonderful. So she will have a recording of this session so she can listen to that at any time.
Yeah.
This will help. Finally, I know we had that beautiful connection with Mary Magdalene. Her question was, how can I get closer to her? But I feel she is already very close to Mary Magdalene. Is it just a case of calling her into her space, to stay connected with her, to keep her energy and information, or is there any other things that she can do to stay close to her connection with Mary Magdalene? Maybe Mary Magdalene wants to come in and answer this.
Well, Fatima, she has always felt very curious about her. So curiosity is a good thing because you start asking questions, reading books. She has a book that she hasn't read yet about Mary Magdalene. It's about her channelings, but there are many books and channels, and it's just let the curiosity drive her.
Yes.
Because the more she gets to know, the more connected she will feel to her. She's a great master teacher, one of the greatest.
I wonder if, I've always wondered this, the women that feel very connected to Mary Magdalene and that are guided by Mary Magdalene, do they hold an essence of Mary Magdalene within themselves? Is that correct? Is there an aspect of Mary Magdalene's essence that we hold within us? I think is what I'm trying to ask.
That's correct. That's absolutely. It's like she was um, in her journey after her divine husband ascended, she had a journey like walking on a boat, like it was a very long journey. And through that journey, a lot of people helped her or felt touched by her. Just, it was very simple things, but right now it's like going back to that kind of connection. Like some of the women that feel connected to her, they were connected back then.
Yes.
In that journey. But this connection is not also limited to those women that help her in some way. It's like a seed.
Yes.
It's like if Mary Magdalene was planting seeds, she's planting seeds now for the feminine awakening.
Yes.
And they are blossoming. They're already blossoming and will blossom fully in the next years and decades. Will be more open to talk about her as a true master that she was, not as a um, story of a prostitute that the Catholic Church told us. We will
Yes.
be more open, the more open to that. That's where curiosity is important. Well, in this moment, the world is living in fear, but a lot of people is also living from curiosity. And that is a good thing because they're making questions,
Yes.
questions of who they are, questions if they can heal themselves, if there's another way, alternative ways of healing, if there are other beings from other planets, if we are getting help, if this is a moment to connect to family in the lockdown or to connect to nature, connect to pleasure through cooking, through just being happy. So um, it's so blessed that they also feel this calling for curiosity, because curiosity will open their hearts to a new era, to a new way of living. They are making lots of questions. That is good because questions are the seeds. So Mary Magdalene is also part of this moment of planting seeds in the consciousness, in the collective consciousness, because they will blossom in the future.
So, have Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, have they planted seeds in these divine couples, these masculine, feminine, twin flame couples?
Yes, they are
Right.
not they are not guided to be the only divine couple.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank
They are
you.
here to awaken other couples, or they came here and
Yeah.
still are here to awaken other couples.
Mm. Is there any more guidance that you would like to give Fatima right now before we move on?
Just remember, it's good to be different. It's so good to be different.
Mm. Wonderful.
She's supported, she's guided.
Uh,
Nothing can really hurt you. Nothing. Like, even if you are killed in, or have been killed in other lifetimes, nothing can break your true essence. It's your superpower. Just listening that self-love is a very important thing in this transitional. Like self-love in a very different ways, just like cooking with love for ourselves, taking the time to rest, to reconnect, singing, being happy, just taking care of ourselves. The human body is like, it comes fear sometimes when there is change. So we're facing change and a great shift. So it's self-love, self-care is very important right now. Embracing ourselves with love and kindness. It's a good way to say everything's gonna be all right.